Answering some common questions from social media, my RV furnace makes a clicking sound but won't turn on. One person said, my propane is full, why will my heater click but not turn on? The other person said, I turned the furnace on today, it blows hot air, but after a few minutes of being on, it started making a clicking sound and shutting off. Then immediately right back on and still clicking. It did this the whole time I had it on until I shut it off, then tried again a couple different times, and it was still doing the same thing. So both of these situations, the furnace is making a clicking sound. There's a couple things that make clicking sounds throughout the furnace or your RV when your furnace needs to turn on. So I'm going to go through 3 possibilities that could be that you as an RV owner can check yourself. So based on what they're describing on the series of clicks, the first thing I'm thinking is a propane issue. What you're hearing in clicks when your furnace starts is the blower fan will come on, and after about 30 seconds, you should hear a larger clunk, that's the gas valve. Then you should hear some more faint tick, 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 ticks. So the gas valve and igniter, you got a click and then some ticks. That's probably what they're hearing inside of it. So if the furnace is turning on and trying to ignite and shutting off about 90 seconds later, that means it failed to ignite. That points me towards a propane issue. For propane supply into an RV furnace or a whole RV altogether, you need to have the proper pressure for things to operate, such as your furnace, your RV fridge, your water heater, and your stove. If you have low propane pressure, some things might work, such as a stove or maybe a fridge or a water heater, but the furnace won't work, as depending on how your RV is laid out and your particular appliance, one thing might work and the other thing won't, just because the propane pressure is not quite where it's supposed to be. So let me show you what I have set up here. I have a bench test propane situation set up. Normally this would not be here. This is my gauge I have set up to look at the propane pressure. As a RV owner, you wouldn't have this set up. As RV tech, I'm showing you what you are looking for. You probably would need to call someone out if you're getting deeper into propane pressure, because this is not something normal RV owners would do. But as RV tech, you can see what I have going on here, so you're educated in what the problem is. Now, looking at the gauge, these are in water column inches. So we need to have at least 11 inches when the furnace is operating. You'll typically see between 12 and 14 when nothing is operating for taking any demand from the furnace or appliance. Now, if I turn the furnace on and this pressure is dropping below 11, let's say 7, 8, 9, somewhere in that range, that's not quite enough pressure to make the furnace light or stay lit for a long period of time, and it's going to drop off. One cue as a RV owner, I always tell people when they're having this issue is look at your regulator. Is it green or is it red? So right here on the front, you have that little gauge in there. So if that was red, I'm going to make that red here in a second. So if they looked at that and that was red, that tells me the propane pressure is really low going through the lines into the RV. That is either a low or empty propane tank or a regulator that's completely failed. So if you see red, you know for sure you have low propane pressure going to your RV. If it's not red, it could be high enough that it's not red, but low enough the furnace won't operate. Now, if the propane pressure is low, sometimes you can adjust the regulator to bring it up to the proper range, or sometimes it can't be adjusted, it needs to be replaced. So this is a regulator itself. You can buy these from an RV dealer. You can buy some online, but be careful when you're buying things online. You want to get some good quality parts, not the cheapest part you possibly can get, because you want this piece to work properly and be safe. Now, our next 2 things are electrical issues. Let me come around here to the front. Now, if you're hearing a clicking coming from the furnace and the fan's not coming on, that would be the furnace circuit board is clicking, but the fan's not spinning. So on the circuit board, there's a relay on there. If that relay is clicking, it maybe is not sending voltage out to the blower fan, or it is sending voltage out to the blower fan and the blower fan is bad. So one of those 2 things, circuit board or a blower fan. If you want some help troubleshooting a circuit board and changing one of those, I do have a video on that, and it's linked in the description of this video. Now the other clicking thing, I'm gonna grab it over here, will be the thermostat. So when your thermostat is calling for heat, you'll hear a click coming from your thermostat or inside of your RV. If the customer is hearing a click by the thermostat area, it's probably a Coleman thermostat. These ones send power directly from the thermostat down to the furnace. Other thermostats such as Furrion, Dometic, or GE, the digital ones. Those will send power up to your air conditioner, and you'll hear it click up there. That's sending voltage back down to your furnace to operate. So depending on what thermostat it is, would depend on what you'll be looking at. But if you have one of these thermostats that's clicking, the furnace is not coming on, it very well could be a thermostat issue or potentially a wiring issue from the thermostat to the furnace. Now, if all of that seems like way too much to handle, you can find a certified tech on the locator. I'll link it down below for you. They are trained in RV appliances and furnaces, air conditioners, all those things. That way they can narrow down what the exact issue is to get your heat working quickly. If you're looking for more help on RV furnaces, you can check out the playlist in the video description below. Thanks for watching and stay warm this winter.